Welcome to the Virtual Realms YouTube channel. I'm Ranger 1. Today I am going to take a look at the Sea Hurricane Mk.IC. It's a pretty new aircraft to War Thunder, introduced with the British naval line of aircraft. And I'm going to take it up for the first time in a couple of realistic battles. I've run it in a few arcade missions to at least get the basics on the plane, although I don't have everything upgraded on it yet. I at least have the ammunition unlocked. And I kind of wanted to do this airplane anyway, but particularly today because I'm in a very aggressive frame of mind. See, Ranger 1's a little angry today. I had been taking care of a lot of personal business lately, and I had accumulated a large number of subscriber replays. And I had devoted today and tomorrow, and if necessary, part of the weekend, toward encoding those replays so that I could turn them into videos for you. But as I sat down to do this, not to do anything else, but to do specifically this task, a patch started downloading. And sometimes these little mini patches don't mess up the replays, but of course this one did. I had a large number of really good subscriber replays to put together for you guys to watch next week, and they're all gone. So I'm a little irritated. Number one, I'm irritated with myself because I let personal issues and things that I needed to do take precedence over getting those encoded. But I'm a realist about that. Sometimes real life just has to take priority. But I'm really irritated with Gaijin. I understand technical limitations may mean that sometimes when you release a patch, it's going to mess up your previous replays. World of Tanks is the same way. But they could give people warning when their patches are going to come out. Now, maybe they've buried them somewhere on their site, and I try and skim the forums whenever I can, but I cover a lot of different games, and I can't check up on every single one of them in depth on their individual forums. I saw no announcements anywhere, not in the loader screen that comes up where they put little important announcements, not anywhere, that would indicate that there was going to be a patch today. Otherwise, I would have devoted the last day or so to it. I would have found a way to make time. I don't know why they feel they need to spring these patches on us unawares, why they can't give us some advance notice of it in a place where your average user would be able to spot it, but apparently they don't feel that's necessary. Gaijin is one of those companies that does some great things. They offer some great content and have some very innovative game mechanics. And then they turn around and shoot themselves in the foot and do some of the most boneheaded things in regards to their relations and interactions with the community that I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot. But it's alright, I will forgive them. Another reason why I wanted to take the Sea Hurricane out is because, well, last night, if you've watched the last couple of videos of mine, we had kind of a laid-back evening and we're drinking Hurricanes all night long. And, well, yes, this is the morning after, and yes, I do have a slight hangover, and, well, yes, this is a hurricane, so you wrap all those things together in one big wiggly-woggly ball, and it kind of makes sense somehow to take this plane out in its first realistic battles and blow big holes in things. So I hope these videos come out okay for you. My apologies to everyone that turned in subscriber replays that haven't seen them yet. I was going to put them all in the can today, and I don't have any recorded. If you turn in a subscriber replay and you haven't seen it on the channel yet, I sincerely apologize. I am very sorry about that. There were some really good ones. Colonel, Desolate, everyone that turned them in, thank you very much, and I'm sorry I dropped the ball on that. Okay, well, I guess it's time to focus on the match at hand. This first match, I'm actually going to show you excerpts from two, I think. This first one is Operation New Guinea. And as you can see, we've got a couple of PBJs that are angling off toward the coast. I think they're going to try and cut back in. And by taking this route, I think they are attempting to avoid most of the enemy fighters that they're likely to encounter. I'm going to head for the clouds. I don't want to get real high as far as altitude is concerned on this map, but I do want to take advantage of the cloud cover if I can and hang out above these two. The Sea Hurricane, the Mk.IC, it's a very good fighter, especially with its 4 20mm Hispano Mark IIs. But it's not an overly fast fighter, and it's not really good at high altitude fighting. It's best at medium or preferably low altitude combat. I'm gaining enough altitude right now. Again, in the clouds, I'll hopefully remain concealed for a bit longer. But that gives me speed in the dive, so that when we do encounter airplanes from the enemy team, like that one that just showed up, that J2M, hopefully it will give me enough speed to where I can actually catch up to them in a timely fashion. Unfortunately, as I gained altitude, the PBJs have pulled 4 kilometers and change ahead of me. I'm going to start decreasing altitude rapidly and building up my speed as much as possible. Hopefully these two can hold out until I get there. If there's just that J2... Well, there's not just the J2M. There's actually 3 fighters down there, possibly more. Those guys are in big trouble. And yes, they are over our shipping, which is putting up some fierce anti-aircraft fire, but they're in trouble. One's already smoking. Looks like he's on fire. Yep. And I am too slow to get there in a timely fashion. And there's a Ki-61 coming in as well, Persephone. Alright, well, one of them has gone down to either anti-aircraft fire. Nope, it was shot down by one of the PBJs. Yay. Good job, fella. But, Onan is in big trouble, and, well, he goes down too. So that leaves me facing 2 fighters. I lost track of the third one. Maybe anti-aircraft got him. But, we've got 2 fighters to deal with now. I'm going to go ahead and pull up, gain some altitude. There's Ki-61 here, but I'm watching that J2M. He's going to try for a sneaky belly shot. He's hoping that I'm going to stall out up here, but I've got a decent amount of speed built up. Where is he? There he is. Yep, he's circling around. I almost go after him, but no. I got to deal with this guy first. Ki-61, critical hit. He's on fire. I've been critical as well and set on fire, but my fire will go out. But I am smoking badly and I'm losing coolant. Okay, first target down. J2M. I rake him pretty well with these 20mm Hispanos, although I did take some damage in return. I'll cut inside. Get in a couple of little nicks there, but I'm going to have to maneuver with him, and I definitely have the edge here. The J2M2 is a great aircraft, but it is not a turn fighter. He's trying to climb away from me, but he's made the decision to climb too late, and I'm able to take him down before he can get out of my range. He had bled off too much airspeed attempting to turn fight with me, and that ended up costing him. Alright, well, that's 2 down. We lost both of our PBJs. Sorry guys, I couldn't get to you in time. I tried. I am setting course back to my home landing strip. So far the battle is relatively even, and I'm hoping that maybe I can get back there and set down for repairs. There's quite the dogfight going on over there. I'm totally dependent on my teammates right now to win that dogfight, otherwise I'm going to be in big trouble. I am starting to overheat rapidly. I'm losing all my coolant, and I have serious doubts that I can reach my landing strip in the distance. There's an A6M2 up there who's probably looking at me. I gotta keep an eye on him. There's a landing strip right below me, but it's not of any significance, and I can't get repairs there, so I've got to try and make the distance. I've reduced throttle to try and keep my engine from overheating too badly. Yeah, he's definitely coming for me. I'm going to have to wait and time this, hopefully just right, and then cut in. I think I may have cut just a little bit too quickly. No, It's alright. I'm losing speed rapidly, and he breaks his wings. I am very, very fortunate there. But again, the Hurricane has some fairly thick and very strong wings, and that does cost it in the speed department, but it makes it an excellent and stable weapons platform, and it means it can take a lot of stress in the dive or the turn. Well, now my team has completely blown it over there in the fighter versus fighter action. Those two A6M2s are coming for me, and I'm not going to make it back to base. That TBF over there, he's been all shut up. I doubt he's going to last very long. So if I'm going to survive this battle, which doesn't look likely, I'm going to have to deal with these guys right now before my engine dies. We'll rake him. Come on. Okay, there's one. Oh, and I get tinged. The other one has raked me with machine gun fire and probably some cannon fire. I can barely maneuver my aircraft right now. I'm going to try and go evasive. He's right behind me. Can I bleed off enough speed? No. I'm losing control of the aircraft right now. I'm going to try and scissor in behind him, but I'm just not getting any response anymore from my controls. And I think I'm going down. My engine is just about burned out anyway, and I'm losing power. So I don't have enough juice to pull up from this. Well, that's alright. It was a good first flight for this aircraft in realistic battles. Let's see if we can't do a little bit better this time around. So far, I've been pretty impressed with this aircraft. 3 kills isn't too bad for your first time out, I guess. Especially considering I really had no support to speak of that match. Well, hopefully this match will go a little bit better. And just a slight bit of foreshadowing. This is going to end up being kind of a strategic match. The enemy team is full of bombers. Well, they have a fair selection of fighters too, and that does make things a little bit dangerous. But the B-25 pilots on the enemy team, they know their stuff. They know exactly what they want to do in this match, and for the most part, exactly how to achieve those objectives. The first thing that they're going to do, well, right now I'm diving a little bit to build up speed so that I can keep up with my teammates a little bit better as I gain altitude. And I'm not going to gain a lot of altitude. I'm going to gain enough to where I can get some velocity in the dive when I need to, but I just can't compete with those Spitfires at higher altitude. They're going to have to do their job up there. But as I head in toward the center of the map, I'm going to notice something a little bit disconcerting. This is going to be a typical bomber rush match. The enemy bombers have already taken out one of our bases, and I am barely gaining altitude. I've just passed 600 meters. Within the next minute, they're going to take out the second base and start working on the third. The only plus side of this, of them hitting these bases so quickly, is the fact that they have probably gone into a steep dive to build up that kind of speed. The speed necessary to get all the way across the map in such short order. And if they've gone into a dive and reduced altitude that much, I have a chance of engaging them. It depends on how much self-control they exhibited, and the second base has just gone down. So we're already starting off on our hind foot, so I'm going to set course toward that last base. With any luck, I can intercept any more bombers before they get to it and take it out as well. Now, this match is pretty much decided, unless you kill all the enemy aircraft, is pretty much decided by the ground forces combat below. Of course, taking out our bases hurts a lot. That sets them up for winning the match via taking out our airstrip, which, with this many bombers in the air, is a distinct possibility, or in simply eliminating enough of the defenses on the ground to where the enemy tanks that are advancing on the capture points you see below, if they can pave the way for those tanks, eventually they will win the match all on their own. P-38 up there. My boys will have to deal with him. So that's my concern. is that they're going to build up a big enough lead on the ticket counter up there that the AI ground forces are going to end up winning the battle for them, as long as they can stay alive. This is a prime recipe that would encourage them to end the match by simply making a run for the corners of the map and letting the AI do their dirty work for them. Now there's one of the B-25s. And maybe he's just late to the attack. Maybe he didn't lose as much altitude as the others, but I haven't seen any of the other B-25s around. There are several of them flying around out here, but I've only seen this one, and he's at a high enough altitude. I don't think I can reach him. He's got too much speed and too much of a height advantage. And he's dropped these bombs already and is peeling away. And he's starting to go into a shallow dive as he makes his turn. And he's going to start pulling away from me fairly rapidly. Well, this isn't looking good. There's the third base down. We're in trouble. Now, if our fighters can catch these other bombers and deal with their protective fighter screen, we'll be okay. But these bombers are being very, very elusive. We have managed to take down a couple and some of the fighter screen that is trying to protect them. Fortunately, some of their fighters are also going after ground targets, so that's helping a little bit. Our own bombers haven't seemed to make any impact on the match at all. We only have one or two, so that's not unexpected. Whoa, that Hellcat almost got the jump on me. I had to cut inside very quickly. My eyes were on that B-25. I almost screwed up, but now I've got him. I'm going to pop my flaps, reduce speed, cut inside the corner of this circle. One burst and it's done. This is a great, great dogfighter. If you can lure your opponents into a turn fight, there are very few aircraft that can keep up with it, as far as turn radius is concerned. As you saw in that last match, an in-close dogfight between the Sea Hurricane and a Zero is a pretty fun match. In some ways, you almost have the advantage, though, because you can bleed off speed when you turn very, very quickly and scissor in behind your opponent if your plane's not shot to pieces like mine was. Well, there's that B-25 that I was chasing, and he's heading for the landing strip, but we do have unaided Puppy and a Spitfire over there. Hopefully, unaided, can take care of it. And then there's this A-20G. I started to dive on it, but it's gone down. And I don't see the B-25 anymore. Either unaided Puppy took him down, or he's pulled a Houdini of some sort. Well, either way, there are still plenty of bombers in the air. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot this F-6F. I'm going to dive on him, but 3 of our fighters have already engaged him. Still, he's right below me, so I might as well go for it. There aren't any other targets apparent. I'm going to fire and get a few decent hits on him. No criticals, though. He's already on fire and he's going down, so I'll just get an assist out of that. But hey, it's better than nothing. I'm going to go ahead, though, at the moment and start building up some altitude. I have a feeling, because we haven't seen any other major targets hit that I've noticed, that the other aircraft have gone to reload and re-on. Either that, or they are loitering at the edges of the map and are waiting their opportunity to do so. I am a little low on ammunition. I'm at about 150 rounds. That may be enough to take out one of these B-25s, possibly even both, but I would feel a lot more comfortable if I had a full load of ammunition. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to check and see if maybe the vision range mechanics in War Thunder are doing me dirty here. I'm going to get closer and see if there actually is a bomber down on that runway, reloading and repairing. Hopefully, I'll catch someone taking off. But I'm not seeing anything so far. No, it looks clear. Unless they've gotten awfully, awfully sneaky, I don't think there's anyone down there. Well, that's rather unfortunate. It's kind of odd that there's no AA that I can see around this airstrip, but that's okay. There's AA at the various bombing points. Not that we've bombed any of them. One of the B-25s has managed to take down our Wellington, which is very unfortunate. That's one of the big advantages of the B-25, its ability to take down other bombers. We've got, I think, 4 fighters left. 3 Spitfires and myself. So I'm going to circle around. They are signaling that they need to head back to base and rearm and repair themselves. So I'm going to keep my eyes open on the way back. One of them is busy hitting AAA batteries, but really that's not going to do us much good on the ticket counter up above. We need to be able to take out tanks, and we just don't have anything that can do it. So our only option at this point is to track down these last 2 bombers and take them out. And as I said, my fear is that they are going to just wait and loiter at the edge of the map. I'm hoping they're better players than that. Not that that's not a viable strategy to win a match, but it does drag things out for an extremely long period of time, and it's, well, really it's no fun for everyone involved. Now, since their other option is to go for our airstrip, I figure I might as well escort these 2 back. I think they're both in bad shape, the way they've been talking and flying. So I'm going to maintain my altitude, and I'll cover them as they set down. Worst case scenario, if the bombers are going for the landing strip, and these fellows when they set down on that strip as well, I'll have a crack at them then. Hopefully I can catch them before they do any damage. Well, actually, that's not the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that they have been loitering around, waiting for an opportunity to slip back in and rearm their loaded bombs. And if that's the case, then I am simply opening the door for them. If I had more ammunition on board, I probably would have just loitered over their airstrip. But that would have forced their hand, and they would have just simply waited and let the AI tanks do the job for them. So we're going to fly top cover, and as soon as these gentlemen are done with their necessary repairs and reloading, I will take my turn. Well, there's one bright note. One of the 3 remaining B-25s has mysteriously crashed, possibly in trying to land himself. Well, it's beside the point now. If the other 2 are landing, I'll never make it over there in time to catch them, so I might as well continue on with my original plan. I'm going to skip ahead here for just a minute or 2. Okay, now we're directly over the airstrip. The 2 Spitfires did set down. One of them managed to accomplish a soft landing. The other one crashed. So we're down to 2 Spitfires and myself. The second Spitfire is taking off now, and it's time for me to reduce altitude and try for a very quick landing. I am hoping that by the time I get done doing what I need to do here at the airstrip, that these Spitfires will have at least spotted the other 2 bombers. One of them is still working over ground targets, though. I'm not sure what he hopes to accomplish, but in the meantime, while all this was going on, the AI forces have already taken our first base. And they are working on the second one, getting dangerously close. When this match draws to its conclusion, if it comes down to that, then the last couple of bases are going to fall in relatively short succession. So I'm bleeding off airspeed as quickly as I can, and am going to do my best to bring it in for a non-crash landing. Such a pretty plane. Alright, I'll pop again ahead to where the action starts. Okay, we're back in the air again, and we've gotten a little bit of altitude built up. Hellstorm is over to the right in his Spitfire. He's checking their secondary airstrip. The sea base is in the process of falling to AI ground forces, and Infamous Killer has just crashed trying ineffectually to shoot tanks. So, 2 fighters left, and we're in a bad situation. But I have just spotted the two B-25s. In the replay, only the closest one is going to show up because I targeted him immediately, and I'm going to call him out. The second B-25 is just beyond him and slightly ahead of him. Hellstorm is way out of position. He is not going to be able to assist me in this fight. Here's the situation then. I've got altitude. I can get enough speed in this dive to catch these B-25s. But if I miss on my first pass against Utatane 3, I may not have enough speed to catch his companion. He could simply outrun me. So I have to make this first pass count. It's going to have to be perfect. And he's not going to make it easy, but setting on fire, there he goes. Took out his wing, and I still have enough speed to catch his friend ahead of him. That guy's not going to make it easy, though. He opens fire. He almost takes me out of the picture. I'm going to dive, get below his guns. He's going to start diving and weaving, flying evasively. I light him up and burn through a lot of ammo, but there he goes. That was kind of tense. But I have to give the enemy pilots props. They did not play the run and hide game. They actually came in to try and finish off the last of our ground defenses. So fair play to them. Well done, gentlemen. Well done. You almost had it in the bag. The Sea Hurricane, the Mk.IC, is a great fighter and a great addition to War Thunder. Until I see you guys again, good hunting. Thanks for watching. I hope you were entertained. If you liked the video, please remember to subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And I'll see you next time.